This is Pod Populi, podcast for the people.
Welcome to the Real Pink Diaries, a podcast about the beautiful chaos of figuring it out as you go.
Hosted by three close friends, each episode creates a safe space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the in-between moments of adulthood.
From building businesses to setting boundaries, we're here for all of it. With humor, vulnerability, and heart. It's not always polished or perfect. It's the Real Pink Diaries.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Real Pink Diaries. This is Motherhood Part 2.
Thanks for joining us.
So much to talk about.
So we're going to talk about the main event,
Yes.
your birthing experiences, and then the encore, which is, when you have the kid afterwards. So did you guys, I guess that people make birthing plans and they get really crunchy
that
about
was
it. They get...
Yeah, that was your experience.
Yeah, so I said, okay, I want to do these. I have all these visions because I'm the woo-woo person in the podcast, right? So I had to do everything holistic and natural, and I hired a doula. And you don't do the birth plan until towards the end, like the end of the pregnancy. But as part of, working with a doula, you have like a birth plan. But I will say birth plans is depending on how you're going to look at it. If you look at it as, okay, this is my goal. These are my goals, but I know it could go different ways. It's not exactly how it might go, and be okay with that. That is a good idea. But if you thinking, oh, this is what it is, and you're stuck on that, that things happen that way, you might be extremely disappointed.
Like it has to go the way I'm planning, otherwise I'm a failure.
Yeah. So I did that doula, and I was very stuck on my ways. I feel like I don't want to have a C-section. I was very predisposed of like the induction and the process because I knew most people just end up with C-section. And I learned a lot like after being pregnant that how you should like choose your doctor. And maybe if those are your goals, you should choose someone who is aligned with those goals as well and the way they work. And my doctor was amazing, but I didn't learn just after that most of his patients had C-section. So he was very prompt to like go that way. More than other doctors that would be more like natural
or open to
the other way. So he was amazing, and the experience was amazing with the doctor. It was very personalized, which I really enjoyed. Just the birth plan, it might not work for everybody.
I would say I was one of the last. Somehow, a lot of my friends got pregnant within 12 months of each other. So yeah, like a lot of like Ethan's like 3 now. Yeah, Eliana's 2. So like within 12 months-ish of each other. And I was watching all my friends with their birth plans, giving birth, and it didn't go any which way they planned. Like that is not something that you can plan. I personally believe it's not something you can plan. No. You can have ideas and goals. I agree.
Like your wish list.
Yeah, your wish list. But being hard set that in your mind that it has to be this way to be successful and to be a good mom is such bullshit in my opinion. Yeah. And looking at your, no, it is. Like, it's strong because I truly believe.
Amy's Carter's coming.
No, I'm upset about it because I believe that this myth or this like fantasy of like you need to have a birth plan, it gets to be whatever you want it to be. No, the baby has a mind of its own. At the end of the day, you are not in control. To be able to surrender is a beautiful thing. While also sticking to your morals and whatever you have going on. And I just watched your experience and I watched it not go the way you wanted. And you did feel a little bit upset about it in the moment, right? You figured it out after, but in the moment you were upset. And you weren't the only one. I saw 5 other women before me, like right before me, go through the exact same process of it didn't go the way they wanted. They had all these emotions, like you're overcome with emotions and hormones, and you think not that you necessarily failed your child, but that you aren't the best mother for doing it certain ways or other ways. There is no right way. Just get it out. That's the way. So at the end, I know that sounds horrible, and it's a little bit too.
Take the baby out.
Just take the baby out one way or another. Make sure it's healthy and breathing, and you're good. But I just watched all my friends have these upsetting pregnancy
Did all of them
experiences.
have C-section?
One wasn't a C-section, but she tore like a So yeah, it wasn't pleasant during and or after. Lots of ice. But I will say, watching lots of ice. But watching my friends enter motherhood in a way that was so upsetting to them really triggered me, and I was like, screw this. I'm like, as long as the baby's healthy and she's out, he, she, whatever, and as long as I'm healthy and I'm alive after this, because there are so many tragedies that happen.
Yeah.
So you have to be grateful for like the wins of just staying alive during pregnancy is a huge thing.
And I will say for me, I was stuck in my ways, like prior to giving birth. Like my mind was like, I'm gonna try everything I can, so it's not on me. Like I'm gonna do all the hard work.
Yeah.
So it's not because, oh, what if you should have done that and you didn't? That's why. So I did 3 miles a day. I did all the teas, ate all the dates and the Pilates ball at night and all the things that they say you should do. I waited 41 weeks and 1 day, which is
I mean, he just didn't want to come out.
And I went for induction, and things went the way I was afraid they were gonna go.
But he's out and healthy.
But when they told me, and my doula told me, this is the best way, just have it, let's go with the C-section at this point. This is the best option for you. I surrender to the process, and then I let go. And I had all this peace within me, inside me, and I knew things were gonna be okay. And the experience was beautiful, regardless of not having the way I originally wanted.
Yeah.
I still had a beautiful experience.
Can we define what a doula is and what services they provide? Because I mean, I have an idea. I'm guessing it's like a pregnancy coach or kind of like an outside.
Yeah, like a pregnancy coach. So they're with you through the entire process, but more so when you're closer to give birth. They can't replace your doctor, so they cannot perform the actual, helping you giving birth. They help you as far as like with postures and all of that, but they cannot replace the actual doctor. So it would be the doula will be working in conjunction with your doctor at the exact time, and she will be helping you, especially she will help you to stay as close as you can to your goals and your wish list. If you want not to have an epidural, or if you want to try all these things before going to have the epidural. So she was like kind of be with you and your family, your husband, whoever else you want with you through the process, but with her expertise as far as like, I also told you, like, you should go to the hospital now. Like, don't go yet. Like I remember one night I started having these contractions, but no pain. It was just like my belly would get really, really hard. Oh. And I was like, these are contractions, we thought. But no pain. So I knew, well, this cannot be. So we called her like at 3 a.m. Tommy was getting ready. He was ready to go. I'm ready. And she's like, no, relax. Remember, when you had the contraction and you can barely breathe, then we go to the hospital.
Oh, really?
I'm like, yeah, I'm not even there. So she said, just go back to sleep and rest.
I mean, my friend she had actual contractions. Yeah. She went to the hospital. They turned her away. You're like, you're not nearly dilated enough. Go home.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
I love doulas, and I would do it again if I had. Yeah.
So the service, but like just very straightforward. The services that they provide, they don't provide medical services.
Right.
Well, they can check your blood sugar. They can check certain things they can check the size and what she's doing, but it's not to replace.
And give you a lot of advice on anything. And vendors and...
like a coach.
Yeah, like a coach. Yeah.
So my original assumption of a pregnancy or birthing coach, but that might be better because
I think that's that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I did not have one of those, no. I also didn't know anything about babies, so I probably should have had one. But I will say, I have had friends that had them. I actually went to one of my friends. She got pregnant like right after college. I went to one of her sessions and I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's very personable. She laid on a couch. They measured her belly. They checked her insulin levels or whatever levels of sugar. And they talked about the plan. They talked about how she's feeling. It was like a check-in.
Yeah.
Like if a doctor was personable, that's what they are.
Yeah.
So do they but do they have a medical license?
They
They're
do. They have
licensed.
to. And
Yeah.
there are some different type of doulas. There are doulas and that they have their own clinic and you can go there and you don't have to ever go to your doctor, that they would do all the visits and appointments that you should have and all of that.
Like they have like a nursing background.
And they can come home and do the home birth if you want to have it at home. That's not the doula that I hired. That my doula, she just offered like guidance through it, and also the day off that you're at the hospital actively, giving birth, she will be there with you 24 hours, whatever, like helping you with the postures, the pain, guiding you through the process. That's the doula I hire. Mm-hmm.
Do they bill medical insurance, or do you have to?
No.
No, they're usually out of pocket.
You pay them out of pocket.
It's like an additional service. Like, so Amie, if you were to go through it again, would you have a doula?
I mean, no. Like
Honestly, I'm tempted for her to have it at home.
I'm not sitting in a pool with whatever else comes out. Like I'm good. But I will say kudos to anyone who does that. I personally, because I have a medical issue, I am prone on the safe side because things can go wrong. On my end, there's a lot more that can go wrong for me than most likely for you because I have more complications that are possible for me. So I was more prone to going to a hospital, even if they are going to cut me open and get the baby out more soon or whatever. I knew they could sew me back up or whatever needed to happen. Whereas if I didn't have the medical complication, I might be more open to it, to be honest, to have like a home birth. But because of my specific situation, I felt like I was safer at the hospital in a sense. And I mean, it's bananas what your body does.
It's bananas.
But,
It's crazy.
I mean, a C-section, girls, it was major.
And they do it like nothing. Like they make it seem like it's just a cut.
Talking about the birthing like process and experience, I made a whole playlist, and me and my husband
Me
were.
too.
Did you? Yeah.
They played it at the time that I was.
Yeah. So I made this whole playlist. Salt and pepper, and like all the fun, like oh shit.
Oh my gosh, no, mine wasn't like that.
Whatever. But we were just, I don't know, we were having fun with it, and we wanted certain things to laugh at during the process. And I go and I get the puncture, the whatever goes in your spine, and for a C-section, which is different. It's not an epidural, or I don't know what it is. Anyway, I got the spinal tap, I think, and I'm numb, and it's weird.
It's very
They
weird.
lay me down. They're like, "Do you want your music?" They put the music on. The first soundtrack of Lady Gaga, "Born This Way," ended, and it was over. And I was just like, I wanted to have a party. It was so fast. And I was like, I will say, like, talking about experiences, I wasn't 100% aware that they jostle you quite a bit to get it out. Like you're moving a little bit. I wasn't like the intensity of how they get the baby up because they don't want to open the incision too big. So they have to kind of get in there to get the baby out. And you do move quite a bit for anyone that goes through
And
that.
they test you, like, first they ask you to sit up, right? And stay still. So you can't move your neck or your head or anything like that. They do the spinal tap. And then, like, right away, you start feeling your bottom half just goes. You don't feel nothing.
And then nothing.
They have to put your feet on the bed, and then they wait like a few seconds, and they have this tool that they test to see if you don't feel anything. So it's we don't see it because you have that thing there, but it's supposed to be, they grab your skin or whatever they do, like really, really hard.
Yeah, they tug at you.
So if you will feel it, you will be like screaming of pain. But so that's how they test it.
Yeah.
And then they start right away, and that's when our husbands come in. When at least Tommy came when they were starting already working on me.
Right in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. Which could be really scary for men. And Tommy was like freaking out, but he did so good. He said, I didn't look. I just went in there.
Straight to your face.
Straight
Don't look at anything else.
And for me, it was like, I was just visualizing what was happening
And that freaks me
and
out.
freaking out.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't feeling it. It's just visualizing that I knew they were cutting and all of that. So
Yeah. Well, I will say my husband was amazing because his mom was an L&D nurse. And so he's seen things that most people shouldn't have seen at like age 10. And so like he would hand his mom like a snack or a lunch and then she would go in to deliver or whatever it was. So he was very comfortable in that hospital, knew exactly what was going on. I was like, don't look, my guts are going to be placed to the side. Just don't look at anything because they take your intestines out to get to the baby. Yeah. It's like a lot going. You don't want to look down there.
There are like several layers that they have to go to get to the baby. And they have to put all those layers back.
It's major surgery.
It's major surgery.
Easy way out. It is not the easy way out.
It's not. It's not.
I wish I had the opportunity to give natural birth because it's so much faster.
The recovery.
So much faster. The recovery was the worst part.
Are you
If you had a choice, let's say like you got all the money in the world, would you have a surrogate so you didn't have to go through that again?
No, I won't say hated. That's strong. I really disliked being pregnant because I was sick most of the time. I wasn't in the mind frame to enjoy it because I was in a fear-based mindset of like everything that could go wrong, and also she's getting in the way of me completing the things to get ready for her. So I just wasn't mentally there, and I don't know. I there were moments though where you feel the flutter, and
I know,
and at nighttime, and then you wake your husband up when you can't sleep. Like you're not.
When the baby moves in your belly, and you like you really see him see the baby moving.
Beautiful moments.
Beautiful moments. Yeah. There are moments I would say in the first trimester when you are our business mind. Like I wanted to do all the things, and I was so tired that I just had to go to bed and sleep some, like take naps, and that would like stress me out because I couldn't be as productive as I wanted to. And my mind, my brain was not with me. Like I was so tired.
I was so tired. I had to take naps. I would just kind of collapse on the couch.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing productive I could do if I tried.
Yeah.
So it was just like a waste of time.
So in those moments, you think like, I wish somebody else was doing this. I would be productive.
And I can get things done before she gets here, so I'll be ready for her. But I mean,
but I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would.
So, Amie, how did your partner, like, how did your spouse support you? Or
he was very supportive. Let's get it straight from the beginning. He knew a lot more about babies and this whole process than I did. But there were a little annoying things where he would like double check about me being healthy and eating properly through the process. So if I wanted a treat, like an extra sweet or whatever, he'd be like, "Are you sure you want that?" And so he would ask the question. It'd be so annoying, but I understood because I do have a medical condition that is affected by food, that like he just wanted me to be healthy and it was coming out of love. But yeah, there were some moments I'm like, just give me the treat. And at the end of the day, it was all out of love. He made me do exercises, and bouncing on the ball, I will say, is so helpful when there's a lot of weight. It just released the tension in your hips.
Isn't it?
It was like the only thing that, like, honestly, I felt good in was bouncing on that ball. So girls, get the ball.
Yeah, the ball really helps. The problem is, what do you do after a baby?
Yeah, like this
I didn't
huge
know where
ass
to put
ball.
it.
Yeah.
But you definitely can use it.
I will say the pillow became a point of contention in my relationship because it was me and the giant ass pillow and this other pillow, and I needed to be comfortable in the bed. And Brian had this little, and he's a big guy, and he had this little sliver of space that he could sleep in. A lot of times I just yell at him, "Go to the couch, I need more space." And so once she came out, it was like, I don't know, maybe a week after, he's like, "Can we get rid of the pillow?" And I'm like, "Sure, honey, go throw it." He got so excited, he almost burned it. Like he threw it somewhere. I don't know where he put it.
So how did you guys, backing up just a minute, how did you choose the hospital where you were going to get birth? How did you choose your doctor? Because was your doctor your OBGYN that you were already seeing like for forever? Or did you find a new person? Did you go to, what's the hospital downtown that your friend works at?
St. Mary's?
St. Mary's?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have a Lily
Pulitzer
birthing suite.
Yes.
Yeah,
they have
do.
a Lily Pulitzer birthing suite.
So in my case, so the doctor was the one that I was seeing already. And as I said before, I didn't knew back then that I should have probably maybe reassess if that was the right doctor for me. And I already had a great experience, so I just continued with him, and it went all good. As far as the hospital, because the doula, it was the closest to me, the most convenient, but also had a great reviews, and the doctor that I was seeing delivered there, and also the doula. That was their main place that she would go to. So that kind of made it all easier for me.
I was actually in search of a OBGYN. So I found one.
Oh, I'm pregnant. Maybe now
I should figure this out. No, I went to one, but it wasn't the same one every time. Like I kind of like jumped from doctor to doctor. So I didn't have a consistent OBGYN at that time. And I got pregnant. I was like, I need to figure this out.
Yeah.
So I went to one, and they had a practice really close to where I was renting from. And they also had a practice really close to my mother where I was moving to. So they had two practices. And originally I was going to give birth in Jupiter or something to that effect. And then I had to switch to...
Was it Wellington?
Wellington.
Yeah.
I switched to Wellington. So like in the mid-process, I started seeing another doctor. So I bounced around to different doctors within the same practice that I found. And there was an office where I was renting from, and there was an office close to where I was moving to my mother's. So I was originally going to go and give birth in Jupiter. And then I had to switch and go to West Palm, or no, not West Palm, Wellington,
Yeah.
which was... The one thing I will say about picking a hospital is I wanted a tier 3 NICU, which I didn't know there's tiers in NICUs.
No, I didn't know.
But they're more equipped to handle infants when there's issues.
Right.
And so if there was any issue, that's the one thing I looked up is like, what hospitals are tier 3? And then I like asked, my husband's family, who are like very aware of L&D and all that stuff. I'm like, is this what I need? So they were a resource to me of asking questions that I, as a layman, I don't know. But yeah, so Wellington had the tier 3, and I was like, I feel comfortable. Let's do this. So something to look up.
Were you like, did it meet your expectations?
Oh my goodness. It was amazing. I mean, I had a weird, so you give birth in one room, and then they roll you into kind of like a recovery room.
Yeah.
Before they take you into another wing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the get better wing. So there was the recovery room, and I had either low or high blood pressure. I don't know what was going on, but I wasn't very responsive. They were asking me questions, and I wasn't answering properly, or I just didn't answer because I don't know. It just brainwaves. I don't know. So it freaked out my husband, and I was cold and shivering and throwing up. I was nauseous because I have a sensitivity towards pain meds, and whatever they gave me, I guess I had a sensitivity towards. So not only was my heart rate not great and my oxygen wasn't great, I got the tube in my mouth or nose. But they were asking me questions, so I wasn't as responsive. I was just like kind of staring off into nothing and freaking out my husband. And so the only thing that I responded to was something about like, where's Brian? Or do you see Brian? And then I just kept on saying, Brian, who's my husband, Brian, he's big Brian. I don't know. It was very weird. And then I got into the rhythm. I freaked out the nurse who was in the recovery room. She was calling the doctor and like making sure he didn't answer. Don't know what the doctor was doing. But it turned out it settled after a while, and I stopped throwing up, and I stopped doing all this stuff. And my husband was bouncing back because the child's in the room with you. They keep you with the child.
Mm-hmm.
So he's bouncing back between checking on the child, checking on me, checking on the child, checking on me. And I was freaking out because I thought they do this massage that I cannot remember the name of right now.
Yeah, I can remember.
God, that was the worst. Where they massage a part of your...
It's just for the placenta.
The placenta, to make sure everything comes out and you don't have blood clots.
Yeah.
And so that was painful. That was happening like trundle. I don't know. I can't remember the massage. But they were doing that. So there's this painful thing going on. I wasn't responsive. I freaked out my husband. And then we got to the recovery area and everything was better. That happens.
Yeah. I will say Jupiter Medical Hospital too was really, really great. The experience was like 5-star. I would definitely recommend it for other people.
Yeah, I had an amazing experience. They were very attentive. They knew how to handle my situation very well, and they were very responsive. So
So no one gave birth in style at the Lily Pulitzer birthing center.
No.
I think it's Good Sam. I don't know if it's Mary's or Good Sam, but I do
The
know.
one on Flagler, is it the one on
Yeah, it's the one on Flagler.
Oh, and
Is
then
that
it's
Good Sam or
it's
St. Mary's?
Samaritan.
It is St. Mary's. I have a friend that gave birth there, and that was her. She was a one and done child. She wanted the experience. She had the experience. I was so happy for her.
Did you get to see it? Did you get?
I know. I wasn't that interested.
Well, I mean, I know some
I
people.
saw the advertisements for going there, which looks beautiful.
No, I mean, I know some people. Some people will invite people to the hospital and stuff like that. Other people don't. So yeah, okay. You go through this maybe traumatic birthing experience, or at least traumatic for Brian. And we figured out why Amie didn't need a doula, because she had a Brian who is basically not a licensed doula, but experienced as
he knew what was going on.
And you had your
12,
yeah, and you had your mother-in-law at that time, so that worked out. You recover in some capacity with your with like, oh my God, Amie, that was so scary. So, like, when did you come to it and been like, oh, there's a baby? They give you this thing that doesn't really look like an adorable baby until like month 3. It looks kind of, it's
Yeah. So as soon as you finish the C-section, at least in my case, they put you back into this room and they gave the baby to Tommy. So they asked him to take the shirt off and just have the baby skin to skin contact. And then they gave me the baby and they start putting near your boobs to start the breastfeeding process.
Yeah, because like stimulation right after is a good thing. Yeah.
The baby, it's usually they go up to where they're supposed to and start getting familiar and just being with you, skin to skin contact with the mom. And after that, I remember being just transferred to over the recovery room, and then my family came shortly after. Like my parents were waiting, and on whatever the visitors area for us to be ready for them to come in. So they came. I remember being like extremely tired. I was very sleepy.
Well, you're drugged.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I was excited for them to see the baby. So I think that just came right as soon as they could. And then, Cuban family, I had my parents in-law, we have this Cuban food and all these things. I mean, I stayed there for like 3 days. So
yeah, me too. I took that extra day and I was like, I want the service.
And the lactation consultant was very, very helpful in my case. It was stressful for me.
God. So for me, the lactation consultant, that's a funny story. But before I get there, they put her on my chest and she's cleaned off to an extent. But I asked Brian later on, I was like, what was your first reaction to seeing her? And his first reaction was, oh my God, she's purple. Because like they come out.
Why she was sometimes
like, they come out and she's like not 100% pinked up or something like that. So she was like half pinked up, half purple, and that was his first thought. I thought that was hilarious because they are kind of like little aliens coming out.
Yeah.
And then my first reaction to seeing her was, she is so small. How do all her facial features fit on her face?
How does it fit?
And how is it fitting? And can she breathe through that tiny nose? Like, I was so concerned that she was so tiny.
A few weeks for you?
No, I was I think 1 week before I was due.
39.
Yeah, 39. But she just was tiny. She was like this little tiny blue tiny thing. And I was just it was such an interesting experience. But the lactation consultant, that was an experience. So as you're drugged out a little bit or on whatever you're on for pain meds, because you had major surgery, you're a little out of it. And they want to make sure that your supply is good. So I had this like Russian Slavic woman massaging really hard, by the way, my boob on one end. Brian was like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm doing great. And she was just getting the milk out one way or another. So it was a very like, you have no shame or privacy or any, just everything's out. Everything's out for the baby, to the baby.
Even through the process.
Oh my
you have all
God.
these appointments with the doctors and
you're just
like whatever, do what you have to do.
And the whole, you can't see your vajayjay before. You can't see anything. And they were like, yep. And they're like, do you want us to shave a little bit? Like, shave away, go for it. Like, do what you got to do down there. I can't. So, but yeah, it's real.
It's real.
So isn't like one of the things, like you have to go to the bathroom, you have before you leave?
Oh yeah, you have to poop before you leave the
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah.
Did that take?
Took a while.
And I
Took a
had
while.
this side effect from the meds, the wherever they put you, epidural, whatever. I was so itchy my entire body. Like a day plus. It
Yeah.
was so hard to do nothing else. And it was so uncomfortable.
For me, yeah, it took a minute, but I did have my dream. I was like, Brian, order sushi. As soon as I got into the recovery room, I was like, order sushi.
I had Cuban food. Yeah, arroz, frijoles.
But yeah, it did take a minute to also your bleed, like all the blood, everything is coming out. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Whatever
It's not
disclaimer
pleasant,
needs
and you're
to,
in so
yeah.
much pain. Like,
But like you want to make sure that you stop bleeding after a while. So like I didn't want to leave for a minute because I wanted to make sure if anything goes wrong, they ask you, do you want to stay one more day, which is the third day after you have a C-section? And I was like, yes, please.
yeah. I stayed too because my process with breastfeeding wasn't as smooth as I wanted to. So Ethan didn't latch right away. We had a hard time after. The lactation consultant was the best, and she was very patient, and she asked us to stay one more day to try again. But the last day, I remember the last night, I was like, F this. We're giving him the bottle. I can't do this no more. And I start pumping, and I overdid it kind of.
Oh yeah, your
So,
trauma
for
fed
twins.
another kid. You
Yeah.
literally fed another kid.
I had to buy this like full freezer, like full high freezer, just stock up all the milk, and I ended up donating a lot of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
People
you basically fed twins.
yes, I did.
most people get a deep freeze when they like go hunting or to stock up on stuff from like Sam's Club. No, you were like, oh, I just went too hard and here's
And now I have all this milk.
Yeah, here's my deep freeze that's the size of a human coffin full of breast milk.
Went
I was
overboard.
so proud of it. I was like really proud of it. I was pumping 8 times a day for over 6 months.
You were insane. I looked at you and I was like, holy cow.
I went to like 6, then 4, then 3.
It was I mean, pumping is not fun. I'm not going to lie.
It's not.
It's
yeah.
not. And I will say, weird thing about pumping, the boobs know. Like I had one boob that knew it was a fake and would not produce.
Yeah.
It would produce if she fed on it, but during pumping, it would not produce. And it just knows when it's fake. I'm telling you.
Yeah, my doula, even her was very impressed that I was able to keep up the supply for over 15 months by exclusively pumping.
Yeah.
Because at some point, most cases, your body knows it's not the baby. You're just making it happen.
Yeah.
And your body starts to like just decrease the supply.
I had a smart boob and a stupid boob. One would produce like no other, and the other one was like, nah, I know this isn't real.
It's very common.
Yeah.
So you got this baby, you're trying to figure out the lactation stuff. You poop, it's day 3, it's time to go. Walk us through the emotions of that. Amie, I mean,
you're still in quite a bit of pain.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing was I talked to the nurse and I was like, when is the doctor usually come for discharge? Because they need to sign the papers for you to leave. You're literally waiting on the doctor to come to sign papers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when does that usually happen? Because they're like, they ask you, do you want to be discharged? Whatever. And so she's like, he usually comes around 1 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, I was very analytical about this. I was like, how's my pill pain schedule? Can I get a take me away? She's like, no, I can't give it to you to leave, but I can give it to you right before you leave. And I'm like, then wait for the discharge up until I can get the pain medication to leave. So I asked her to hold off the discharge to get the final pain medication so I can go home in comfort and not have to worry about the pain. They do give you like, I think prednisone or whatever. And I'm not one to take medication.
Motrin, I think it's
Oh,
what
yeah. I don't remember.
From home, like they
I'm not one to take a lot of medication. I just knew that like it was the last time to get the good stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Motrin.
and I have so many pills left. I never actually took the pills they gave me to go home.
Yeah.
But I did take that, like delay the release just so I can get that final medication.
Yeah. I feel like we have a lot to talk about, and we're gonna have to do part 3 of these.
Oh my goodness.
So we will do part 3 about like what is our life, our business, everything, who we are after having a baby, and who do we turn to, who we become, and all the different transformation process.
Yeah, because you do transition into a new person. You are a new person now.
Yeah.
You can't go back, and you have to mourn the person you were and let go of that.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. We'll do part 3.
What do you guys like? Do you have any closing thoughts right before we sign off?
So I will say, as far as like pregnancy, just be okay with whatever decision you make, but also just let go and let it happen the way it's supposed to. The most obviously, everybody agree with this. Your health and the baby's health is the most important, but also advocate for your health and for yourself and the baby. Like if you feel you know better than anyone, if you feel something is not going how it's supposed to, or it's going wrong, or you have to align yourself with the people you want to kind of work with in this partnership. So advocate for yourself, educate yourself too, and just so you can make smart decisions. Yeah.
I would say find your tribe to your support system is super important. I leaned on a lot of friends that literally just gave birth right before me, and asked them their experiences. I was just trying to collect as much information as I could about what to expect.
And ask questions.
Yeah, ask questions. There's certain things that I didn't know, and we can get into that another time. But I would say educate yourself as much as possible, and then at a certain point you have to let go.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for spending time with us. Please subscribe to our social media. We are on Instagram and Facebook.
The Real Pink Diaries.
Diaries.
Oh my God, I'm blanking on how I sang that song. The Real Pink Diaries.
Any place that you listen to podcasts, please.
We'll be there. Please, if you like where you listen to or watch us on YouTube too, which we are there, just like us, subscribe to our channel, and we can't wait to see you next time.
See you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening. We had so much fun, and we'll look forward to spending time with you in the next episode.
Please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Real Pink Diaries. You can also find us on YouTube. Check out our show notes for additional ways to connect with us.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.